Good afternoon. Thank you very much for coming. We're very happy to have General Stéphane Abrial with us. But before I pass on to the briefing that we had organized for today, let me start with a statement that the Secretary General issued in the last few minutes on the Benghazi attacks. The Secretary General strongly condemns the attack on the United States mission in Benghazi, which led to the tragic loss of 4 Americans, including the ambassador. Such violence can never be justified. The Secretary General offers his deepest condolences to the families and loved ones of those who lost their lives, and his thoughts are with those who were injured. The Secretary General welcomes the Libyan President's condemnation and condolences and his pledge of his government's full cooperation. It is important that the new Libya continues to move towards a peaceful, secure and democratic future. This was the statement that the Secretary General issued, as I said, in the last few minutes as a result of the tragic events we saw last night in Benghazi. Le général Stéphane Abrial, qui est avec nous, a été le premier Français à accéder au poste de commandant suprême allié pour la transformation. Et en fait, il est le premier Européen à diriger un des 2 commandements stratégiques de l'Alliance. Ce matin, le général Abrial a fait un point de situation devant le Conseil où, je peux dire, il a reçu un accueil très chaleureux de la part des 28 ambassadeurs et même des applaudissements pour le travail remarquable qu'il a fait au service de la transformation de l'Alliance pour faire face aux défis du XXIe siècle. Et aussi comme un des 2 premiers représentants spéciaux du secrétaire général pour la défense intelligente, Smart Defense. Le général Abrial a renforcé le lien transatlantique au sein de l'Alliance. Il a consolidé les relations entre l'OTAN et l'Union européenne sur le plan des capacités et il a contribué au succès du sommet de Chicago parce qu'il a voyagé inlassablement. En fait, il a visité, je crois, toutes les capitales alliées en tant qu'envoyé spécial du secrétaire général. Le général Abrial occupe ses fonctions à Norfolk, en Virginie, jusqu'au 28 septembre prochain, date à laquelle son successeur, le général d'armée aérienne Jean-Paul Paloméros, prendra la relève. Mon général, soyez le bienvenu. Vous avez la parole.
Merci beaucoup.
Voilà.
Merci beaucoup, Anna. Bonjour à tous. Comme vous le savez sans doute, comme Anna vient de le dire, je suis de passage à Bruxelles. Ce matin, j'ai présenté devant le Conseil atlantique mes idées pour la dernière fois. Et vous faites aussi partie de mes interlocuteurs privilégiés depuis 3 ans maintenant. Et donc, je tenais à vous rencontrer avant de quitter Norfolk et de quitter mon poste. J'en profite pour remercier Anna de me donner cette possibilité et pour son soutien permanent pour organiser ce genre de rencontres qui permettent de mieux connaître nos activités au sein de l'Allied Command Transformation. Pour ceux qui le souhaitent, je tiens à dire en passant que vous pouvez aussi profiter de la cérémonie de passation de commandement le 28 septembre pour venir à Norfolk. Je crois savoir que, comme en 2009, un voyage de presse a été organisé. Ce serait une bonne occasion pour vous de juger sur pièce. Je pars d'autant plus serein que je sais qu'ACT sera en de bonnes mains. Je connais très bien mon successeur, le général Jean-Paul Paloméros, qui m'avait déjà succédé il y a 3 ans, en 2009, à la tête de l'armée de l'air française. C'est un ami proche. C'est, en plus, vous vous en rendrez très vite compte, un chef exceptionnel. Il a bien sûr su poursuivre l'adaptation et la transformation de l'armée de l'air française, tout en l'engageant sous la bannière de l'OTAN, en Afghanistan, pendant toute la durée de son mandat, et également en Libye, où elle s'est particulièrement illustrée. Et je ne doute pas qu'il saura relever les défis de la transformation avec le même enthousiasme et le même plaisir que ceux que j'ai éprouvés durant mon mandat. Since 2009, much has been done and NATO has demonstrated its relevance with a success in Libya, but we must continually adapt to emerging challenges. In particular, it should be a priority to preserve and develop alliance capabilities, as NATO will likely face the tricky combination of a decrease in operational tempo with the end of the operations in Afghanistan in the coming years, and an enduring fiscal crisis. Only a few nations are able to deliver on their ambition of maintaining the level of defense spending at 2% of GDP. Some nations are undergoing drastic cuts in their defense budgets and making decisions that will have a long-lasting impact on themselves and on NATO. But I'm optimistic. In Chicago, the nations reaffirmed their determination to, I quote, ensure that NATO retains and develops the capabilities necessary to perform its essential core tasks. It is the echo I also received when I visited all nations as Secretary General's Special Envoy for Smart Defense. Regarding the fact that my mission as SACT that will end soon, I do not intend to look back over my 3 years in some form of testimony. While much has been accomplished, transformation remains an ongoing and evolving endeavor. It's a continuous path. Continuing transformation must ensure that cohesion among allies is maintained and enhanced, and NATO needs to guarantee continued interoperability between national forces and to promote the intellectual and technical flexibility needed to face any potential strategic surprise in the future. And this must be done together. Because nations all agree that they can't continue to go it alone, Smart Defense and the Connected Forces Initiative, two initiatives launched by Secretary General Rasmussen, have gained broad support across the alliance. Delivering these two initiatives are among my priorities for Allied Command transformation. First, Smart Defense. You are already familiar, of course, with the concept. As it was expected, the summit confirmed a strong mandate in this area. NATO must continue to provide a framework and be a catalyst for multinational projects where the nations wish it, but also to serve as a promoter of coherence and a source of strategic advice to help to inform national decision-making. Regarding the projects, the first list has been formalized in Chicago. Today, there are around 150 projects or proposals, including 24, which are being implemented right now, and the momentum will continue. We are expecting 10 more in the coming months. And we will continue our relationship with the European Defence Agency, which is a great example of how the EU and NATO can be complementary and mutually reinforcing. Turning to the Connected Forces Initiative, as we look ahead to the post-Afghanistan period, it is intended to be the framework for unified efforts to make sure our forces and those of our partners are optimized for working collectively, and also that our forces maintain the strong coherence that they have developed during operations. Indeed, the ultimate goal of the Connected Forces Initiative is to maintain and enhance the level of combat effectiveness that we have reached through a decade of continuous operations. In this field of improving cohesion and interoperability, training is of paramount importance. As you probably know, ACT is taking the lead in the overall education and training field and will soon be responsible for overseeing both individual and collective training and exercises in NATO. We need to be able to deploy soldiers, sailors, and airmen that are comfortable operating within the complexity and ambiguity of a contemporary battle space and be able to work with their counterparts in the multinational environment. But it is important to stress that these two strategic initiatives are strongly interrelated. Multinational cooperation is one way to ensure interoperability, and we have to make sure that the two initiatives feed each other. These are two good examples of the work ongoing, but as you are aware, ACT's mission is much broader than this. ACT and NATO is closely involved in facilitating relations with industry. In this context, I invite you to participate in our Industry Day that will take place in Riga, in Latvia, on 17th of October. It is our main annual event aimed at fostering our relationship with industry. And this year, the novelty is but what was so far an ACT event becomes a NATO-wide event. We will co-host it with the Defense Investment Division here in NATO HQ in order to offer nations and industry a single forum for all aspects of capability development. This year's event will focus on the impact for NATO and industry of the decisions taken at the Chicago summit. Significant emphasis will also be put on the evolution of a NATO-industry relationship. You will see that a lot has been done since we launched the framework for collaborative interaction in 2010, and other topics of interest are relations with the European Union, defense planning process enhancement, cyber defense, space, to name but a few. Almost 10 years after its creation, Allied Common Transformation is now firmly positioned as the leader of transformation in a renewed alliance. As a military leader, I always tried to give my best advice and to make a case for adequate level of resources within an environment of competing demands. Again, I'm sure that General Paloméros will continue to enthusiastically confront these challenges. Thank you.